Welcome to the second part of Electric Football's week one picks. We are a Geo Knows award-winning show, but we do have technical difficulties an awful lot, so we split it up into two.
We never win that end of the contest.
All right, so Stu, you want to start us off on week two?
Well, Hawks and Rams. The Rams team needed to break ties with Sam chronically injured Bradford, but I'm not sure Foles is the answer either. I mean, however, they have a nice defense, and the Hawks struggle on the road here. Is Cam playing? So far, no. It's Tuesday night. He's not playing. He might sit the season. Doesn't matter. I think we see a heavy dose of Marshawn Lynch and newly acquired Jimmy Graham in the end zone. I think that's a big, freaking huge piece for them. And I think Seattle squeaks one out on the road. But I like the Rams D this year.
Okay, we're in almost complete agreement. Great pickup by Seattle. Jimmy Graham, the best offseason move in my opinion. Just look at the tight end stats from the Super Bowl and then plug in what Jimmy Graham might have done, and that should cover it for you. They do need to clarify what's up with Cam Chancellor.
Might not be this season.
We need to see if Marshawn Lynch still has the fire in the belly instead of the smoke in his lungs, because that man is puffed out, if you know what I'm saying.
No dude.
I love what the Rams have on defense. You got Brockers, you got Quinn, you got Long, you got Donald, you got Laurinaitis, you got Ogletree, you got Jenkins. I personally think the Rams are going to be the best defense this year.
Wow, okay.
I do.
I can't argue that.
I also love the idea.
It's not started yet.
No, I know.
I think it's a great call. I like him a lot.
There you go. I love Todd Gurley. I got to tell you, I would get in bed with that Gurley because I've watched him beat Clemson by. I seriously watched him beat Clemson by himself, and he is a very.
He is a girly man.
He's the best back I've seen come out of college in a long while, but he has to be healthy, which he's not. And Todd Foles, a lot of Todds involved in this. Todd Foles really needs to prove that one interception last season wasn't, just luck, just an aberration. So I like the Seahawks in this. It's very hard to pick against a team that almost one bad play call away from 2 Super Bowls. But I do think the Rams are going to make an awful lot of noise this season.
I agree. Saints and Cardinals. If Carson Palmer is healthy, and if Andre Ellington can get his motor going, I see a playoff-bound Cardinal team here. Campbell, Woodley, Peterson, Mathai, I don't know how you say it. Very solid D. The Saints boast a very shaky secondary. The receiving core is minus Jimmy Graham. So who's there? I think the Cardinals win this by a touchdown. It's
strange because we're watching the Saints evolve or devolve, if you want to, into a running team, and it's weird, isn't it? I mean, Ingram and Spiller now. We're going to have a battle of the ex-Clemson breakaway backs in Spiller and Ellington. But, the addition of Unger, the subtraction of Graham, and all of a sudden you're looking at the Saints that are a running team, and wrapping your head around that is tough. Healthy Carson Palmer, home field advantage, makes me pick the Cards. I would like to see how much of a difference losing Todd Bowles makes to that defense, but I don't think it's going to be a very big difference, and I do think that the Saints just lack explosion, which was never the case in the past. They used to be the shootout team. Now I think they're going to try and ground and pound a bit.
They can dunk too.
Yeah.
Lions, Chargers.
Okay, I'll start. Loss of Sue and Fairley. I was always a big fan of those two in the middle for the Lions. That's partially negated by Nagata. A lot of buzz about the young Lions running backs in preseason. Amir Abdullah and Zach Zenner. Zach Zenner was getting some preseason love. But then you go over and you look at the running backs, the depth that the Chargers are going to throw at you. If Melvin Gordon, plays out as he should, Woodhead, Oliver, Donald Brown. I mean, that's some depth. It's time for these teams to think about running the wishbone, I guess. I don't know.
They're two perennial teams that should get there and don't.
And they appear to be destined for mediocrity again.
I know. I'm seeing them both at 8-8 here.
I mean, would Stafford and Rivers, like almost interchangeable, really. But in this game, I like the Chargers at home. I think the Lions are going to struggle this year.
I'm taking the Lions by a field goal just because I think they have one more player than San Diego does. San Diego doesn't have Gates for 4 games. They've got an unproven running back. You don't know. I mean, Melvin Gordon's supposedly the second coming, but he hasn't played enough yet for us to call him.
And he is a freaking gamecock.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
He is a gamecock.
Yeah.
I'm going Lions.
All right.
I hate the Lions on the road, but I'm taking
Titans and Bucks. And speaking of mediocrity, unless did the schedule? How did the schedule? Did they make the schedule after the draft? Like, how perfect is this as far as like rookie QBs coming together? You know what I mean? But
I'm
unless
sure they look at that.
unless one of the two of them pans out, they're going to be bad teams for the long haul. I think Winston actually has a lot more talent around him right now. I think Ken Wisenhunt is in some trouble. He's got to look at that roster and go,
What a
who's
my GM?
All right, number 14. Like, what's your name? It's ugly as far as talent for the Titans. So give me the Bucks fairly easily. In this
Yeah,
one.
I mean the Titans have signed Brian Arakpo. Brian Arakpo. How bad is it when you're signing Brian Arakpo?
Yeah, he'll stay healthy.
Oh yeah, let's get the 90-year-old guy. You know.
Our,
Hey Methuselah, line up.
our yoga program will keep him going.
I'm going based on Jameis Winston has some freakish athletic ability, and I think they've just got a couple more players than the Titans do at this point.
All right, Bengals at Raiders, and we all have a team that we screw up every year, and the Bengals are that team for me. First off, I was trying to catch up on this. Is Charles Woodson really starting for the Raiders? Like, is he their starting strong safety?
Is he?
Like, Heisman Trophy winner from like the 90s?
I don't know.
That's what the depth chart said today. And
That's got to be a different Charles Woodson.
I think A.J. Hawk was listed as the starting middle linebacker for the Bengals.
I think you pulled off your notebook from 1975.
I may have, because all I can see is A.J. Hawk jumping out on that fake punt where he let the receiver run right behind him and was 5 yards from anybody. So it does seem like the Raiders finally have the team headed in the right direction. Carr was a good pick, evidently. Khalil Mack showed a lot. Now everyone is saying that Amari Cooper is the most pro-ready receiver coming into this thing.
We shall see.
But they do still have an awful lot of holes to fill because they were just that pathetic for so long. So I'm going to take the Bengals once again based on overall talent and the fact that I always overestimate the Bengals.
Yeah, perfect Hawk and Mama Maluga. That's enough for me.
Hawk's diminished, though.
Yeah.
I mean, badly diminished, but you're right. Perfect and Mama Maluga.
Yeah, they're enough to beat the Raiders. They're not enough to beat anyone else, but enough for the Raiders.
Okay.
Ravens, Broncos.
Speaking of teams that are lacking in explosive weapons, Justin Forsett aside, what do the Ravens have that's going to scare you? A retiring Steve Smith, who is still, quite a good player. I mean, especially for his limited physical size. He's a scrappy little ball hawk. You've got to admire what Steve Smith has done in his career. But aside from him, where are they scary?
They're not.
Peyton's arm's going to be fresh. Did it fall off at the end of the season and have to be reattached last year? It appeared to. I wouldn't be surprised that little Wes Welker is hidden as a ball boy and rips off his ball boy.
He's not even on the team. He's not signed.
No, I know, but I think he's going to
sneak as a ball.
He's going to sneak onto the sidelines just like the guy holding the down marker, and then suddenly he's out there in a uniform.
I'm eligible.
Yeah. Coming in for the Broncos, ball boy, little Wes Welker.
Oh, man.
I'm actually kind of sad because you hate to see a great player that wants to keep playing and just can't find a home, but maybe for the best for him for the concussions. But Broncos still have an awful lot of weapons. Ravens are going to have to ground and pound, and I don't see how they're going to do that in this game.
Yeah,
I like the Broncos.
I picked the Ravens, but now listening to your in-depth analysis, I am switching my pick to the Broncos. They're home. There's no air. What the hell was I thinking, Ravens? Take the Broncos.
Giants at Cowboys. And if you've watched this for any length of time, meaning once, I hate the Cowboys. But I've watched the Giants in the preseason, and I don't think I can name a team that's been more listless. I won't make any cheap JPP jokes. I think it's horrible that the man was that injured. But the drama is going on even today about I'm fine to play, and the Giants are like, oh hell no.
You can't even do this. It's like,
see, Stu will make the cheap jokes for us. So big loss on the defensive side, depending on what he's able to bring, and it cannot be 100%. I don't care. If you've damaged your hand as a defensive lineman, it's going to set you back.
Yeah.
And, not being able to train properly is going to set you back. And just the argument with the team, and it's just not a good situation. Jerry Jones would sign Satan himself if it would help them, so they bring in Greg Hardy. The return of Sean Lee is going to help them. Rolando McClain, even Jasper Brinkley, a good depth at linebacker, an ex-Viking. So I see the Cowboys' defense getting better. I don't see the Giants. The secondary of the Giants is just a shambles.
Yeah.
They're bringing in anybody they can at strong safety, including me briefly, but they cut me. Stevie Brown cut. Look it up. It happened. So Des the Destroyer Bryant should run wild on him. I see the Cowboys fairly easily.
Yeah, and it's put up or shut up time for Big D. But how do you let DeMarco Murray go? I mean, your whole team was.
You do it based on the fact that it wasn't DeMarco Murray, it was the offensive line.
All right, so is Randall now Christine Michael, who they just signed? Are they the guy that can fill those special shoes? I'm not sure.
What did McFadden?
Well, McFadden's there, but they just brought over Christine Michael from Seattle. Needless to say, Dallas has a lot more weapons than the Giants do. For week 1 at home, I'm taking the Cowboys.
There you go.
The end.
Eagles at Falcons. Stu, if you would.
Okay. Bird fight!
Chip Kelly's a freak. I mean, he's constructed a really, really weird offense. He's got Sam Bradford, who A, is brittle, and B, is known for his deep ball accuracy, and he's surrounded him with great running backs and a great tight end core. I mean, you've got Zach Ertz, you've got Selleck, and help me out here, running backs for the Eagles are Murray, Matthews, and Sproles. Okay? Right. So is this going to fit? Will that weird pace that they like to go at tire out their defense? Strange stuff here. Falcons, they don't have much going on right now.
I have no notes, so I put and Atlanta is playing them.
But they're particularly, I mean, they do have good wide receivers. I will give you that, but they are lacking in any defensive impact players, and unless that defense improves markedly from last year, the Eagles will have an easy romp. Even if they are a strangely constructed offense.
And the Eagles added Kiko Alonso. I think that helps a lot. I have the Eagles by 10 easily in this game.
All right, there you go. And then we finish up with, I get my Vikings on TV.
Here we go, and it's going to be 11 o'clock at night.
I don't care. I'll drink some espresso. I'm excited about this team. It helps the Vikings that the entire 49ers defense retired.
Yeah.
You do wonder what Chris Borland is going to think about, 3-4 years down the road. Like, I wouldn't want to, be brain dead or anything like that. Like, I wouldn't want to have, I feel like I have it now at 49 years old. I'm like trying to think of words and recall running backs for the Eagles, and it's harder than it was. So I'm not. It's cold in here. What time is it? I'm not making fun of the decision, but it is hard to believe that guys are currently just throwing away promising NFL careers with millions and with, the fame that goes with it. Or guys are throwing it away Ray McDonald style by just out there wilding.
Right.
So the Vikes should win this game. Bridgewater looks great.
I like Teddy.
AP, not happy with his parenting skills, but he is there. I'm a little worried about our tackles. Matt Khalil needs to revert back to his rookie season. And what do we got? TJ Clemmings on the other side? Like
sure,
a rookie?
Let's go with that.
We need to step that up. And our first-round picks, Kendricks and Waynes, have not really stepped up and solidified themselves as starters, especially Waynes, who's got a reputation now for being a grabber. You don't want a grabber. You want a hitter, not a grabber. Is that a new one? What do we got here? Wait.
With the 50 patch.
But hell, it's a hell of a lot better than going into the season with Christian Ponder worries. So, no, pondering what Christian Ponder will do. Is he still alive?
Who cares?
So I think we win this one easily, and I hope that we establish very quickly that the offensive line can be dominant, and that AP, well rested, and very motivated to prove himself an elite tackle.
Yeah, and I don't have much to add. That's your team. I love the addition of Mike Wallace. Believe it or not, as much as he did pretty well for Miami. You know, who knows what that whole thing was.
Threat.
But Teddy Bridgewater to Mike Wallace, I think you're going to hear that a lot because you've also got Charles Johnson on the other side. Those are two guys that can burn. I think you've got a really solid offense right here now. I like Teddy Bridgewater a lot. I'm going with the Vikings.
Oh God! I mean, if we can stay, if Rudolph can stay healthy, and if Patterson can actually learn to run a route and be a pro instead of just an athlete, we're scared.
Yeah,
we're good.
All right, that's week 1. We made it in 2 hours, and it's only 15 minutes long because we suck at technical stuff.
Hopefully you've watched us. Hopefully you've enjoyed us. Thank you to Gio
Thanks
for doing
again,
all the
Gio.
work that he does, and thank you, fans. Please comment. We will get back to you. We kind of like you guys.
Yeah, we really like you, and you like us. See you next week.
Peace. Bye.